Okay, so I have been on a journey of self love and healing and self discovery, really, for about since I left my toxic relationship, which was about 8 years ago. And that is a very long time when you think about it. But people expect, I think a lot of people, including myself, expect that change is going to happen overnight, or it's like, okay, I'll commit 1 year to this, or however long it is. But I have been on this journey for 8 years, and I can say now that I am a completely different person. I will say that I'm not where I want to be. I think that every time you reach that goal, that next version of yourself, you set the bar higher, and you have new goals and new visions for what you want to accomplish and who you want to be. And I think that's super healthy, actually. But also recognizing how far that you've come, which is something that I am still learning to appreciate. But I think in reflecting on that and seeing how far that I have come, I realize that there is a lot of knowledge and experience that I have to share from my journey, that I hope can help other people that have been where or are currently in a place where I have been. And so today is day one of sharing tips, shifts, and habits that help me go from low self worth to happy, healthy, and healing. And I want to specifically say healing, not healed, because I think you never really reach a point where you're like, yeah, I am completely good. I have healed absolutely everything and I have nothing left to work on. I think that in saying that, that would allude to having nothing left to work on. And every single day, I feel like new things are revealed to me, new ways that I can grow in relationships with other people. A mirror is held up to me, and I'm able to see where I still need to grow, where there might be still pain inside of me, and literally every day that's revealed to me. So I want to be specific about saying healing, not healed. So the first shift that I'm going to share today is about validating yourself. So this is something that I have struggled with my entire life, and I was always seeking validation from other people. No matter how much confidence I felt, it was a projection really of putting up this front and hoping that other people would validate me. And so over time, throughout my life, I can look back and see how this did not serve me at all, how my need for validation just perpetuated cycles of attracting certain experiences and people into my life that were trying to hold up this mirror to me to show me, like, validate yourself. But I chose not in the moment, I guess. And I say I chose not to see it, but at the moment I didn't see it, until the cycle repeated itself enough that finally I was like, okay, after I left that toxic relationship, then I took time on my own, and I made it very important that I was going to take that time. I wasn't going to jump into a relationship or dating or anything like that. I was like, okay, I clearly hit rock bottom. It couldn't be more clear to me that I have work to do on myself. I could have pointed the finger at him and said, you did this to me. And maybe for a period of time I did, until I just realized, like, okay, you know what? Yeah, that maybe wasn't an ideal situation to be in, and I wouldn't treat someone that way, but it was an experience that I attracted into my life because there's something that I need to learn from it. And that's just what I believe about all experiences. So eventually, when I kept that open mind, when I kept that healing mindset of, okay, I can't control what happened to me, but I can control where I go from here. I was able to see that really it was not having self-love for myself, not being able to validate myself, not having self-worth. And that is why I ended up in that position, because if I had the self-worth, I would not, there was many red flags that I would have walked away from early on. And so it's unfortunate that I had to go through what I went through in order to have these realizations. But I hope that in sharing my story over time and sharing what's worked for me, that I am able to use my hindsight as potentially your foresight, and maybe prevent that from happening and give you some tools for validating yourself, for self-love, and just creating that high self-worth that you deserve. So, how do you validate yourself? Well, the first step I would say is in recognizing that you are seeking validation from outside. So this takes awareness. I feel like a tool that has helped me is meditation. Meditation has helped me to just become aware of things. And, when I first started doing meditation, I was like, I think I'm doing it wrong and I don't think it's doing anything for me. But over time, as I continued to do it, what I realized it helped me with is just being able to let things come, like thoughts come and go, and allowing them to be there without judgment. And that brought me a lot of awareness for patterns that were happening in my life. So it wasn't just the meditation and being in that moment that I needed, it was the rewiring my brain to just become aware and notice patterns, and allow it to be there without judgment. So that is a tool that has worked for me. But becoming aware, maybe you write, maybe you journal, and you just start to notice patterns over time. But becoming aware of when you are seeking that validation, and what you're doing when you're seeking validation is putting your energy outside of yourself. And what we want to do when we validate ourselves is bring that energy back into ourselves so that we don't need it from other people. We're not seeking, like when you're pushing your energy towards someone else, think about it. Your energy is pushing them away, when it really is counterintuitive, because when you're trying to seek validation from someone else, you want them to give you energy, but your energy in even wanting it is pushing them away. So what you need to do is bring it back into yourself, and like a magnet, it attracts people to you. So really there's many different actions or habits that you can do to validate yourself, but at the end of the day, it's about keeping the promises that you make to yourself. So if you want to be, happy and healthy and healing, then you need to do the actions that are in alignment with that version of yourself. So if that means consistently exercising, if it means going for a walk, if it means doing healthy meal prep, if you are constantly in like battling yourself with what you want versus what you're actually doing, that's not validating yourself. That's just in conflict with yourself. And then in doing that, you are going to lower the way you feel about yourself, which is going to then project your energy out to others to seek that validation. So it's just a basically like toxic cycle. And it really is in understanding, knowing who you want to be, making it clear the actions that you need to take to be that person, to feel the way that you want to feel, and then following through on that. And is it going to be perfect? No, it's not going to be 100% of the time. I still have days or moments where I will fall back into a pattern, and then it's just like the time in that space becomes less and less because you become aware of it so quickly. You're like, oh, I'm doing that thing again. And then you step back into like the version of you that is validating yourself, that is high self-worth, that loves yourself enough to follow through on those promises to yourself. So I hope that made sense. I guess my fear in sharing in doing potentially this series over time, in sharing these tips and shifts that have helped me go from low self-worth to happy, healthy, and healing, is that when I talk, I don't know if it's going to translate to make sense. So I hope that it does. And if there's any clarification that you want, please leave a comment. Please let me know if you can relate to this, if you've had similar experiences and what you might want to hear in the future. But I really just want to start using my experience and where I've come from to help people. And it's something I've been fearful to share because it's very vulnerable to share about, these experiences, and even just acknowledging that I was in a place, because I love who I have been, even if I don't relate to her anymore necessarily, because each version of myself has brought me to where I am today. But speaking about who I've been isn't always easy. So it's very vulnerable. And I think I've just decided that I want to be someone that makes a difference. And that means using my voice and sharing my story. So that's it for today. I hope this was helpful. If it was, leave a comment, like, and subscribe to see more of this in the future. And I'll see you in the next one.